author and nutritionist Robert Ferguson. Please welcome Robert Ferguson.
All right, y'all, let's hear it for America's Fat Loss Coach, Robert Ferguson!
Woo! You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe it. Well, before I say anything, my name is Robert Ferguson. I am your nutritionist. I'm a guy who cares, and that's why I share. And I want to thank you for being here because we have this amazing interview set up, but it ain't today. It's tomorrow. Oh, man. Talk about having a really, really, really challenging week. Oh, boy. I can't believe I did that. But anyway, Dr. Tan will be here tomorrow. And let me just, let's well, I'm not even going to cut the music. There's something I am going to share with you. So, so if you cut this, then, you know what? Yeah, let's turn the music off. I've lost my, what do you call that? I've lost my mojo when it comes to this show. So, oh man, but I am going to share something with you that's really important. Okay. I'm going to share with you a new addition to the Diet for Your Life methodology, which is one of our newest fat burning meals. Okay. So I have a little slideshow. So let me bring up the slideshow. Oh man, I can't believe that happened today. I really can't. Okay. Well, today's segment is brought to you by the Detox Drop. And Pat, hey, big kudos to you. Big kudos to you. She did the detox drop. She was off a little bit, was stagnant a little bit, dropped 6 pounds in 7 days, feeling good. She's got everything under control, crushed those cravings. Everything is looking good. So, man, I am so proud of you. Just now, let's just transition, continue to follow the nutrition plan, and we will rock and roll. And tomorrow, you will have full access, all of you, to the interview with the one and only Dr. Tan. Okay, now, this is Dr. Tan, and let me just tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. And I want to pose it with a question, right? Because Dr. Barry Tan, he is the world's foremost expert on vitamin E, and he's going to talk about this potent antioxidant that can help everybody. Myself, anybody who cares about their health. So here's my question to you, and I posed this in the description. If there was an antioxidant supplement that is proven to protect, improve, and reverse fatty liver, shrink tumors, lower cholesterol and blood pressure, promote bone health, reduce inflammation, increase survival rates in cancer patients, and even kill cancer cells, and help with macular degeneration, would you take it? Would you take it? Absolutely you would. Who wouldn't? And so we're going to talk about the science behind this absolutely amazing antioxidant. I cannot wait to introduce you guys to it. I really can't. Okay. Now, for our time together, I am going to share with you some fat burning meals. There's a new addition of fat burning meals to the Diet for Your Life methodology. So this alone makes it where it's good for us to be together. Okay. So let's go over some of the basics of a fat burning meal. Okay. And some of you are probably catching us for the first time because you were so intrigued to meet, Dr. Tan. And the interview is tomorrow. Okay. I apologize because it's going to be a barn burner. You do not want to miss it. Okay. So with our Diet for Your Life methodology, we show people how you can eat all foods. So there's no foods you have to avoid. And we're evidence-based and clinically proven. So once you learn how to eat foods in certain combinations and amounts, you're able to not only lose weight, but specifically drop body fat, improve body composition, improve fasting insulin, fasting glucose, blood pressure, triglycerides. And we've proven this with 2 evidence-based clinical studies. So no matter what I share with you today, if you're new to this, this works. Okay, it works. We've proven it. So that's why we can work with hospitals, we can work with insurance companies, we've worked with professional athletes, and the list just goes on and on. Now, one of your basic fat burning meals is what you see right in front of you. This is what we call a protein, fast carb, and slow carb. Now, I'm not going to get into the fats. I'm not going to get into condiments. I'm just going to go over the basics as I introduce you to what we have added to the methodology. And for those who have done the detox drop, you learn this in the detox drop, and I really go into great detail on why we have this meal. And I'm going to touch on a good amount of it today, okay? And I'm not going to keep you guys long. So when you have a protein, in this example, you have salmon. Now, the protein does not have to be just salmon. The protein could be chicken. It could be meatloaf. It could be ham. It could be steak. It could be Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, soy, tempeh. The list goes on and on and on. So once you choose your protein source, then the next thing you're doing is you're looking at having a fast carb. Now, the fast carb in this example is potatoes. It could be rice. It could be quinoa, couscous, pasta, glass of wine, a beer. And you have a full list of that, right, when you learn the methodology. And so once the fast carb is there, then as you can see, I have asparagus. And that's a really small amount of asparagus. It would be about 10 spears or up to 10 spears. But if it wasn't asparagus, it could be black beans, pinto beans, navy beans. It could be cauliflower, broccoli, spinach, collard greens, and the list goes on and on. And when you put the foods in the combination like this, this is one of our fat burning meals, right? So I'm going to show you 4 of them today. Okay, there's been 3, and now we've added a new one that's only recommended for breakfast, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, so this is fat burning meal number 1. So fat burning meal number 2 is when you remove the fast carb. So let's say you say, I don't want rice. I don't want pasta. I don't want potatoes. I don't want couscous. I don't want a glass of wine. I just want to have protein. In this example, we have salmon. And then we have some green beans or asparagus. Is that asparagus? Okay, it's my meal. And then we have black beans, which could be any slow carb you want, right? Because sometimes with dichotomous thinking, people will look at a meal when you give an example and they'll go, well, I don't eat that. Remember, this is all about swap out what you don't like, swap in what you do like. And once you do that, you have a fat burning meal. Okay, this is the basics of our methodology. And you can have 2 to 3 portions of a slow carb. And again, you're eating what you want to eat, what you prefer to eat, and you're getting the outcomes that we talk about all the time. Okay, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's dropping some body fat, whether it's getting your reversing or going into remission with your type 2 diabetes. I mean, the list goes on and on. Okay. The third example of a fat burning meal is what we call a fusion. So a fusion is like chili, right? When everything is kind of mixed together, like everything's mixed together. So it could be a chili, it could be shepherd's pie, it could be casserole, lasagna. When it's all mixed together, it's all based on portion size, and that would be a fusion fat burning meal. Now, actually, let me take a step back, and because there is another meal that I didn't go over. Okay, so if you're going to be tested on this, there's 5 basic fat burning meals. There's a vegan-based fat burning meal when you choose not to eat tofu or tempeh or some type of meatless product. We show you how you could just eat strictly carbs and fat and create a balance of protein, fat, and carbs. And I can go into great detail. If you have a question about that, I don't mind answering any questions that you guys have today, because I blew it. Again, I just got off the phone, with the doc, and we are on for tomorrow. So it was my fault. So that's why I was like, you know what, let me go on, because I've been wanting to do this update for our Diet for Your Life community anyway. Okay, so this is a fusion meal, and then we have a vegan meal. Now we have this meal. All right, let me show you. Boom! You have what we call a P&F fat burning meal. So that's the name that I'm giving it. The P&F is for having an adequate amount of protein and fat. And we're building out a whole little recipe booklet that people who are on the detox drop. So when you do the detox drop, you're going to get free access to this ebook. And anyone who's done the detox drop, you have lifetime access to doing a detox drop anytime you want. All you need is the 7-day, VitaBlend, the supplements, which means you're only paying $34.95 to do the detox as often as you want. Now, we've been expanding on the P&F meals. But I want to take a moment to kind of explain to you, like, why is it that there's no carbs, and this is only for breakfast. Now, before I go into that, let me just take a quick look. Let me see. We got Tammy Weavers in the house. Tammy's going to be a huge success story, you guys. She is going to be a huge success story. A huge success story. She's already on her way. Tammy, thank you for letting me be your coach, because you're going to do it. And all you got to do is stay the course. I ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Okay, I'll be there for you all the way. What's up there, Donna Wilson? Donna Wilson. Okay, I'm just giving out some shout. We got Julie. What's up, Julie? She says, I see I'm not the only one who had an overwhelming week. Yeah. Okay. I had an overwhelming week. Absolutely. Pam Williams, how you doing there, Pam? She says, for vegan, let's throw that up on the screen. For vegan, the same quinoa, rice plus 2 slow carbs. Yeah, it all works the exact same. And if you lost, if this is the Pam Williams that I worked with at one point, there's a 5-step process to how to make a fat burning meal that's vegan based. So if you've lost it, just reach out to us. Go to my assistant, and Lori will get it to you. Okay, and then we got Sandy. What's up, Sandy? Nope, you didn't miss it. It's totally my fault. I totally got it all mixed up. Okay, but let's go back. Let's go back to this meal. So I have been studying. Okay, yes. So Sandy, doctor is tomorrow. Everybody, the doctor is tomorrow. A full hour. I made the mistake. I promoted it. I got it out there. It's tomorrow. It's totally my bus. My bad. I'm not happy about it, but I'm thankful because, at least he didn't show up on Tuesday. And you know what I mean? It could have been worse. It's been an interesting week. And I'm excited about the interview tomorrow. I am so excited about the interview tomorrow. I am very, very excited about it because of the work that this man has done. Anyway, I talked about that at the beginning of this segment. You can go there and hear all of that. But let's just kind of like go over this meal. All right. So if you're new to working with me, like Tammy, I don't want you to do this yet. I will be explaining this meal to you when it's a protein and a fat. Okay, so you see there you have the protein basically is bacon, and the protein is also eggs. But in this example, both have a good amount of fat that makes it a PNF. If you decided to have, let's say, Greek yogurt, which would be a protein, then maybe you have some pumpkin seeds in that. That would be protein in the fat. Or you can go real traditional and simple and just go with like protein in the form of eggs and then add your cheese to it. That would be a PNF, fat burning meal. One of my favorites is when I have cottage cheese personally and with avocado. That's protein and fat. And what this does is it stimulates the release of this hormone. It's called an incretin, GLP-1, that lives inside of our gut, our microbiome. So GLP-1. Now, a lot of drugs are now popular because of GLP-1. I'm talking about Ozempic, Wegovy, Trulicity, Mounjaro, and the list goes on and on. Now, the drug is an agonist. It acts like the real hormone. So it's a GLP-1 agonist, acts like. And what it does is it causes the GLP-1, it goes up in your body, and then a whole cascade of events takes place. And one of those cascades is that you don't feel hungry. You're satiated. And that's why a lot of these people who are taking this drug at high amounts, they're like, I'm not even hungry. Well, when you eat protein and fat, for those who have done the detox drop, and you guys who are catching me live, you can go in the comments and let people know when you do the PNF meal, you're really not hungry. And why is that? It's because food can cause GLP-1 naturally to go up. Oh, what? So people are taking a drug putting their life at risk. And there's a whole bunch of new studies that came out in the last week with the drugs. I mean, major disruption with the gut now. People losing hair, people committing suicide, people getting Ozempic face. Oh, I mean, there's so, and then, you got the increased risk of all of these side effects to include cancer. Whereas you could have been eating food in a way to get the GLP-1 to go up anyway. Now, inside of the detox drop, I explain this and I share with you the studies. Okay, there's 3 studies that I share that conclusively have demonstrated that the combination of food like this will cause GLP-1 to go up. 100%. Any questions about this? Because, especially my veterans and of course the diet-free life coaches, we want to know this so that we can, because there comes a time where you want to encourage your clients to actually eat this way, especially when they have a high level of insulin resistance after the first 30 days or the first 4 weeks. So I didn't want to get too technical. So you guys let me know if I covered that well. Okay, so let me see. Linda, who is a successful client who's dropped over 100 pounds and also is now a coach. Linda says, protein and fat meal is amazing. GLP-1 activated. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. GLP-1 activated. So you can use food to get the same benefits that people are getting with the drug. The big difference is that the drug creates a whole bunch of negatives. A lot of negatives. But food doesn't. So it really does go back to like the whole belief that food is medicine and medicine can be food. Just learning how to eat it. Now, I first discovered all that ties into GLP-1, the beginning of it in the early 1900s, through some papers. And then in 1964 is when they really tapped into GLP-1 and this thing called GIP. Okay, there are 2 hormones that live inside of your gut microbiome, your intestinal tract. And as a result of those being stimulated, they actually are the primary regulator of how much insulin gets secreted. Most people think it's glucose in the blood, and it's not. Now, I was going to write a whole book on this. I've been working on this for a long time, since, at least 10, 11 years. And some of my clients, I had shared this with them. And now if you connect the dots, you go, man, I remember Robert showed me this 3 years ago or 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. And then when the drugs came out and got popular and everybody started using the terms GLP-1 and GIP, I was like, man, I could have came out with this, confidently about 3 years ago. I was going to do a whole documentary on it. And so because the drug got so popular, it totally hurt the documentary. So the surprise is gone. And I'm still writing this book. I just had to make a whole bunch of tweaks to it. So unfortunately. All right, let me see. Catherine, what's up, Catherine? Catherine's rocking it too. You got a big shout out coming, Catherine. Big old shout out. She says, with eggs, is it okay to use like egg beaters as like a filler? What does she mean by that? So eggs, no matter what you hear out there in the world, the whole egg, not egg whites, the whole egg is very, very, very beneficial. It's packed with, it's like the perfect food. It's like the perfect food. And for years, people just went egg whites. And at one point in my life, in my career, I did too, right? Because if you go back to 1995, I didn't know that, we could eat cholesterol and it wouldn't cause cholesterol to go up. I know it now. But when I was new at the game, I didn't know. So they got me too. Fortunately, I learned as I learned. And now we know, right? Because if you don't know, and you better ask somebody. So come back to me on that one, Catherine. Help me understand what you're saying, and then I'll answer your question. All right, what's up there, Alice? Alice says, if you add a slow carb fruit like raspberries to this protein and fat, the PNF, will it prevent the positive effects? Great question. And it does remove the effects. The primary effect is you want protein and fat. So in the studies, and I'm going to redo some of those videos with the detox drop, I'm going to explain a little greater detail, like when you just consume fat. Okay, it's not when you consume fat and with carbs. The more carbs that are in that meal, the less of the benefit that you get. So the mechanisms is to stick primarily to fat and protein. And they both have a unique effect, right? One goes up a little faster with GLP-1 and the other one, gradually goes up, but they both go up. And it's got to be the right type of fat, right? So in one of the studies, they demonstrated that when it was polyunsaturated fat, like a soybean oil or vegetable oil, something that's high in linoleic acid, no effect, did nothing. GLP-1 didn't even know anything happened. So that kind of fat doesn't help. It's the kind of fat that we're encouraging, right? Like saturated fat actually helps, and monounsaturated fat, but not the seed oil fat. So adding carbs to it, then you're going to making a fat burning meal. You see what I mean? So the goal is to eat in a way that you're spiking that GLP-1. And I'm not saying you do it for your whole life. And I get it. Sometimes we want to add a little bit of veggies, and you can do that. You don't have to stick to PNF. It's just there's times for the PNF when you're doing it, especially like if you're going to go 7 days and do the detox drop. Perfect time to do it. Perfect time to do it. Now, can you make a fat burning meal that's protein, fat, and slow carbs? Yes. Yes. It's not going to hurt anything. You're not going to maximize the GLP-1. You're going to still get some GLP-1, but you're not maximizing. So maybe that's what you're asking me. Can I add some slow carbs? I would say, yeah. For you, Alice, I would say, yeah. I don't see a problem with that at all. Okay, let's see here. Linda Jackson said, hard-boiled eggs and avocado is my go-to breakfast. That is a good one. I mean, I love some avocado. I love some avocado. Nah, I'm not in the mood to sing. I'm just trying to lift myself up. I'm trying to pump myself back up as I was so ready for this interview. I mean, I got like all this research papers out. I did all my studying this morning. I was like, Wednesday's my day to do this. Let's go. And, Doc didn't come on yet. And I was like, what? Okay. So any questions? So we get it now. So during the detox, this is a new addition. So if you were a coach, there's 5 fat burning meals. Your 2 basics, as you can see to the far left, is protein, fast carb. That would be a fat burning meal. You have the option of adding a slow carb with that. Then you have the protein and at least 2 portions of a slow carb, and you have room to add a third if you want it. And then you have your fusion meals. And of course, vegan, we don't talk about it a lot because most people are not vegans. And most vegans will eat a protein, fast carb, slow carb, or protein and slow carb because they'll eat tofu or tempeh, or they may opt for like some meatless product. But sometimes people just don't want it. And it's interesting because I've been looking at people who mature, and they've done a lot of studies on people in assisted living type places. And people in assisted living, as they mature in age, they don't want to eat as much meat. And when they're taking their fat soluble vitamins, which they don't get because no one really explains this. And we're going to talk about this tomorrow with Dr. Berry. If you don't have fat with that fat soluble vitamin, like a vitamin D3, vitamin E, you ain't getting no absorption. The absorption is you're not getting it. Right. So when we do the detox drop, for instance, it's very clear, specific instructions. Eat your protein and fat and then take your vitamins. If you just take vitamin D3, vitamin C, vitamin E or vitamin D and vitamin E, if you just take those without fat as part of that, you're not absorbing. You just wasted your money. Now, what I noticed with one of my clients this morning, she knows that she had a vitamin D3 and her husband's taking a vitamin E, and they noticed that they had DL tocopherol in it, which that's synthetic and can cause cancer. And it also had soybean oil in it. Well, the soybean oil is high in linoleic acid, which is a seed oil, which is not good. So you guys look at your products. Some of you probably are taking maybe a vitamin, let's say omega-3 fatty acid, and it has soybean oil in it because they need fat. So instead of educating you on how to eat and then take your vitamins, they just said, well, to increase the absorbability of certain vitamins, let's just add some soybean oil to it. Talk about, that's just horrible. I mean, it's mind-blowing. What I'm saying in some of these stuff, I mean, it's blowing my mind, actually. Okay. Catherine says, so I used 2 eggs, and after this, I'm going to, all right, we got Lynn Walker in the house. What's up, Lynn? What's going on? Hey, Robert. All right. If you have a question, if you just came in, Lynn, I made a mistake on the date for my interview with Dr. Berry. I will be interviewing him tomorrow. So everything remains the same tomorrow. Okay. If you want to be there live, I strongly recommend it. It's going to be awesome. And so I decided to go live, and I wanted to go over this anyway, as far as our updated fat burning meal, our PNF meal that we've added to the methodology, and is also being added to our white paper. So Catherine says, so I use 2 eggs and cheese as a fat burning meal. I have found a 1/4 cup of egg beaters make my eggs extra fluffy. Okay, so something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't see a problem with it because the egg beaters are just pure protein. So you just add in more protein with your fat, you're good. Yeah, you're good to go. Okay, so let me see. Julie's here. Julie says, my husband eats a scoop of peanut butter with his A, D, E, and K vitamins. Okay. That's a great, that's a great way to do it. Because peanut butter is fat. We got Lynn says, I got it. I have been since the beginning. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, this is good. So I'm going to say goodbye. Any questions on the PNF fat burning meal? Any questions on anything around fitness, nutrition? I will not be going live between now and my time with Dr. Berry, but it's going to be intriguing. I have provided a link to the supplement where you can get what he's going to be talking about tomorrow. A natto, which is a plant, tocotrienols, is mind-blowing. So let me read one more time. We're going to talk about, actually, I'll share this with you guys. We're going to talk about the discovery about 101 years ago of vitamin E, and how vitamin E was initially discovered because it helped a woman go to term with her pregnancy. And then we're going to talk about the different types of vitamin E's, which will take us to the alpha tocopherols and the DOD before it. That'll be really short and brief. We're going to talk about vitamin E, the different types, to include vitamin E as an antioxidant. Now, most people, all right, actually, you know what? This would be fun. You guys, give me just a couple of minutes. Just stay with me a couple more minutes, and participate with me, because I got a good amount of people with me. Vitamin E, okay. It's an antioxidant. Who can tell me, without Googling, what is an antioxidant? Who can explain that? Because you hear people talk about it all the time. And I've had this conversation with a lot of my coaches, a lot of my clients, a lot of people I'll meet, personal trainers, I'll meet dietitians. We're just having a comment. And if they keep mentioning the word antioxidant, I'll go, do you know what an antioxidant is? And most of them can't really explain what it is. So can anyone here explain what it is? I know Julie's on top of it. So Julie says an antioxidant is something that fights oxidation in the body. Okay. Do you know how it fights oxidation in the body? And is oxidation a bad thing? And what Julie is talking about, like if you had an apple, you guys, we all know this. Same as avocado. If you cut that apple, it's nice and clean and looks really yummy, right? And crunchy looking, a good apple. But if you leave that apple out, what happens? It oxidizes. Oxygen hits it And then does the apple change color? Yes, it starts to go brown. Same thing happens with avocado, and the same thing that can happen inside of us. You start to age. Okay. So oxidation is not necessarily a good thing. It creates, with oxidation, you have these things called free radicals. And free radicals is like, I always imagine in my mind a car just driving through an apartment complex and just smashing into everything. An antioxidant will attach to that car and make it where it drives straight, and it no longer crashes into anything, and it doesn't create damage to our cells. So that's kind of my little analogy of antioxidant. And what Dr. Berry has discovered is an extremely potent antioxidant. Now, I'm not going to share too much because there's so much I want to talk about. But for instance, when you take, let's say you take some type of vitamin and it has alpha tocopherol in it, right? And especially if it has a synthetic version, DL-alpha tocopherol. His potent ingredient, annatto tocotrienols, does not do what it's designed to do if the alpha tocopherols are also in the body. The alpha tocopherols block his product from doing all the things to helping with blood pressure, cholesterol, bone strength, macular degeneration, fatty liver, cancer cells, living longer. So you would want to go through all of your supplements. And if you're taking anything that has alpha tocopherol, even if it's D-alpha tocopherol or DL-alpha tocopherol, stop it. If you're going to use his product, annatto tocotrienols, you don't want to take in any alpha tocopherol. You don't. And he's done the studies on it to prove it. So that is really interesting. So you'll hear him explain that tomorrow, which is going to be absolutely awesome. And invite some friends, man. Tell some people. If you don't know how to do it, maybe they're not my Facebook friend, go to our YouTube channel. And when you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. But then while you're there, hit the bell. And it'll tell you if you want to be like alerted or notified when I go live, or if I upload a new video. And you want to go, yeah, I want all. But then you can just you can share my YouTube channel page, which is youtube.com/Diet Free Life, all one word. Send them that link. And then they can subscribe. And then they can listen to it, watch it at their convenience. Because I just secured another guest that they have an amazing product. Like when you hear people talk about omega-3 fatty acids, woo! Wait till you see what these people are bringing to the market. Unbelievable. So, yeah, there's a lot of products out there that aren't really good, but there's a lot of other products that are good, like liquid collagen. I think that's a great product. I've seen the studies. It is something it's good. And what, Dr. Berry has, absolutely good. If you have a parent or a grandparent, and let's say you love them, why wouldn't you tell them about this product? Now, between now and tomorrow, and maybe this is a blessing, I'm working on our site right now at dietfreelife.com. I'm going to add area in the website, right? Because I'm getting my blog going where you can go there. So you just tell someone to go to dietfreelife.com, and we're going to have, Diet Free Life approved supplements. They're going to just be there. And we'll have a little article why. And if there's like a video like the one I'm doing with Dr. Berry tomorrow, it'll be there. So you can just tell someone, go to dietfreelife.com. And my ultimate goal, and if anybody wants to invest, I don't got the money right now. I really don't. I am struggling with everything. It's just, I am overwhelmed with all of the things I got going on. And this is all a positive. But if somebody wanted to invest in something, man, Dr. Berry's product would be that's a smart investment. I'm eventually going to do it. I just got to get things in order right now and handle some responsibilities. But as soon as I can get out of the water a little, get up, you're going to see me come out with a product. Now, if I can find an investor, and we're not even talking a lot of money, then, and if they're okay with the percentage deal, because I'm eventually going to do it. So I'm not looking to be just giving it all away. And I'm the one that's going to market it, right? So I'm not, but if somebody wants to do it, I am totally believing in this, because why wouldn't everybody take this product? Wait till you hear Dr. Berry talk. It's like, why wouldn't everybody? I can't say that about taking B vitamins. I can't say that about taking, a multivitamin. But I can say it about this product. Even a really good vitamin D3, not everybody needs it, right? So you go to your doctor and your D3 is good, so you don't need to supplement it. But if they see that your D3 is down, then they're like, hey, you may want to supplement. That makes sense, because you got blood work that proves that it's down. The science is pretty steady across the board. That makes sense. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense just to be taking vitamins just because I will bet money that all of us are getting an adequate amount of vitamin E. So his product, yes, is vitamin E, but that's not what is exciting me. What's exciting me is the double-blind, placebo-controlled trials that he has done to prove, right? So if you have 20 people that have high blood pressure and they don't change anything with exercise, they don't change anything with anything, and you have 10 that do a water pill, that means they don't know if it's, the annatto tocotrienols, and then the other group is taking, Dr. Berry's product. The people who took his product are going to get the results. The other group ain't going to get nothing. And so why wouldn't, let's say I don't have high blood pressure, because I don't. So why am I taking it? Because I don't want high blood pressure. Why am I taking it? I don't want high cholesterol. Why am I taking it? I don't want to lose my bones and bone strength. Why am I taking it? I don't want to become a type 2 diabetic. I mean, you see what I mean? Like, talk about preventative. And, he has a patent on it, because once you hear him explain the details, what's interesting is that the pharmaceutical companies would love to get this. And trust me, they're working on it. I mean, he's got like a patent on how it's extracted. It's so amazing. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. Julie says, when I was talking about oxidation, she says, oxidation is damage just like an apple or a banana that's cut, turns round. It's oxidized, similar type of blah, blah, blah. Yes. And like, what is an antioxidant? Right? I mean, we've talked about it, but lemons, they're antioxidants. So if you open up an avocado, the air hits it, the oxygen, before it turns brown, squeeze lemon on it, and that antioxidant will block it. You could do that on apple, and you'll see for yourself. Okay, you guys. I've had fun. Thank you. Again, I apologize for those of you who came hoping to, meet with Dr. Berry. Everything will be the same tomorrow. We will go live at the right time, and I look forward to our time at that time. If you have any questions, you can contact me or my assistant at dietfreelife.com. You can also email me directly at robert@dietfreelife.com if you have any questions. All right. Okay. No questions. I'm looking. I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody posting. I just hate when I go off, and then sometimes when I close up, someone will type in a question and then I'll see it. And I was like, man, I wish I could have answered their question. But all right. And it's hot outside, you guys. Drink your water. Keep your water filled. to the rim. Man, I've been drinking water all day long. And it has me going to the restroom quite a bit. But I ain't going nowhere. I'm working all day. And now I got some extra time because I got some extra time. So I'm going to prepare even more to maximize my time with Dr. Berry tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, Alice. I appreciate you. Looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a good one, you guys. And then I'll tell you about my next one after that. All right. I even had on I had my nice little collared shirt on. I'm telling you, I didn't know this until 12 o'clock Pacific. I came on ready to go. And then they emailed me. I was like, man, got my hair all done. Jeez. I mean, there's days where I'm not even combing my hair. And if you notice, I don't come on video that often, but that's all changing because I'm putting myself and I'm getting ready to launch my podcast. And guess what the title of my podcast is going to be on all platforms? Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. Took me a long time to figure out that name. They say sometimes it's right there. You don't even see it. Because I've been waiting about 2 years to figure out how I want to do a podcast. And I want to do a podcast based on promoting Diet Free Life and teaching about Diet Free Life and everything that goes with our Diet Free Life. And I was like, man, should I call it this? Should I call it that? And then one day I was just sitting around and I went, Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. That's the brand. So then I could bring people on, share with them what Diet Free Life is, see what their expertise is so it could add to our Diet Free Life and just put us all in a better place where we could rock a diet-free life that much better. It's getting better, you guys. All right. Until the next one, I'm Robert Ferguson. Remember, I share because I care. And make sure you go over to the YouTube channel because who knows what's going on with Facebook. Sometimes they make it live and you'll see it come up, and sometimes they don't. But on YouTube, you always have that option. Plus, you'll be able to access replays and share with other people if you found that segment or episode was one worth sharing. And that's what it's all about. Okay. And the more you help me there, the more the algorithms will put me in a position where I can start to reach more people. Because the number one thing that I hear all the time, every week on conference calls, every new doctor I meet, every new health plan we talk to, they go, well, this diet-free life thing is the bomb. And I go, yeah. They're like, why am I just now learning about it? I go, well, help me get the word out. I mean, we've had a lot of national attention, but we need more attention. But once we get that momentum, then it'll start all the people who are done dieting, all the people who are done and frustrated with all those negatives, and then having people like you guys help share it on your Facebook pages and tell people about it. All of that is how we're going to do it, because I could not do it without you. So I need you, and that's why I'm dedicated to making sure I consistently provide and give to you. And if we're helping each other, it's a win-win. And then I get really excited because I get to reach even more people. Okay, so all right, have a good one, you guys. Until the next one, peace.